All right, all right, all right. Started that recording a little fast here. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. As usual, I'm your host, Mark Pierce. How you doing today? Hope you're all doing well. What's going on today? It's October 6th. Is that where we're at already? Yeah, sorry. Wow, all right. So it is Tuesday. And what are we talking about today? Well, like I said, we've got a great week coming up. We hope you enjoyed yesterday's Song of the Day, a little Led Zeppelin. We'll be revisiting them again later this month. Just the way the calendar works. What can I say? I don't control it. I just report on it. Yesterday's date was also another anniversary. It was on October 5th, 1992, that this band released their record, their 8th album. It's R.E.M, and they released Automatic for the People. Where'd that title come from? Well, interestingly, you ask. Interestingly, that was the motto of a Athens, Georgia restaurant named something like Weaver D's Delicious Fine Foods or something like that. Anyway. So, 8th album from R.E.M. I mean, who doesn't love R.E.M? I don't know. Are there R.E.M haters out there? I mean, there probably are. But even if you say you don't like R.E.M, you probably would like at least one or two songs from them. For me personally, they're up there with one of my favorite bands. Every record has at least 1 to 3 songs, if not more, on them that I love. This particular record, the critics say, is on par with Murmur as their strongest and kind of best album out of all of their stuff. I can see why they say that, but I love the album Out of Time probably more than most, but I think that album is brilliant. And I also have enough kind of a fondness for Green as well. But anyway, we'll get to all those because, again, they're another one of my favorite bands. So, again, this record came out. Now, remember, they are on the heels of Out of Time. They put that record out in 1991, March of 91, and they were doing the final mixes of it, and when they started coming up with these songs. So here they are mixing a great album, and they already had 3 new songs in the works, and those 3 songs were Drive, Try Not to Breathe, and Nightswimming. How about that? They already had 3 monster songs ready when they were mixing an album. I mean, that's crazy, right? They didn't even tour for Out of Time. I remember that. I really wanted to see them when that album came out. They did not tour, but they did tour for this record. They did a little bit of different stuff. The band recorded the demos without Michael Stipe, and they spent a lot of time doing it, but they would also mix up who was playing what instrument. So they would hand someone else a mandolin and they would play that, and they would do all kinds of stuff. I mean, the traditional band ended up doing what they would normally do, but that's kind of what they did for a while. And they sent him like 30 demos of songs for him to work with, and then they got together as a band and put it all together. So that's pretty cool, right? They did want to be a little bit harder, a little bit more rock oriented compared to Out of Time, but it didn't really turn out that way, did it? Because there's only really a couple songs, if any, that are a little bit more upbeat. So, but anyway, basically they said the writing of this record was about the lamenting turning 30 and what that meant in their lives. Remember turning 30? That was many moons ago. The album did great. It was number 2 in the United States, number 1 in the UK. All the critics loved it. 6 singles. 18 million copies. It goes on and on and on. So, what are the songs on this record? You got Drive is the opening song. Try Not to Breathe was not a single on this record. I don't know how this was not a single on the record, but Try Not to Breathe is a great song, and I think they play it a lot out there, don't they? I mean, if you don't, sometimes you know songs and you don't know the name of the song, but you got to listen to Try Not to Breathe because That's a great song. I don't know why it wasn't a single. Sidewinder, Sleeps Tonight, single. So Drive was a single. Sidewinder, Sleeps Tonight was a single. Everybody Hurts. All right, Everybody Hurts. I mean, everybody knows that song, right? I mean, sometimes you think your ears hurt because you've heard it so often, but you got to admit it's a good song. It's a bit overplayed in my mind. That's just my opinion. I do like it. New Orleans Instrumental number 1, Sweetness Follows. Monty Got a Raw Deal. Like the name of that song. Ignoreland. Ignoreland, that's another one that you don't know the name of the song, and then you play it, and you're like, oh yeah, because that I remember that, right? And that could have, that's one I remember. Star Me Kitten, Man on the Moon. That's a good one, right? That was a single. Nightswimming, single, good. Find the River, single, good. Yeah, so those are great. I think when you think about it, it is a great record. I mean, solid choice. Maybe it's because they just played a lot of those songs a lot. I don't know. But I do like this record. So you tell me, what do you think? What would you go with for Song of the Day? I'll give you a second. All right. So if you had asked me before I did the show, Mark, what is your Song of the Day going to be? I would have told you it was going to be Nightswimming. Because in my mind, I thought that was the strongest track, or the one that stuck with me as far as not being overplayed, not being too commercial, but one that I really liked. But I did go through the album. I played the whole record. I do that. People here in the cave. I do. And these songs, these are the ones that stuck out for me. Try Not to Breathe stuck out for me. And Ignoreland stuck out a lot for me. But really, in the end, it was Drive. I can't believe it was Drive. I would have never guessed Drive, but when I played it, it still made me happy. I still really like it. So we're doing Drive. That's your Song of the Day. It's R.E.M. Drive. We're going to cover R.E.M. I mean, we're doing this show for a year, right? I'm only 200 shows in. I'll be 200 shows in at the end of the month. So we got a lot of bands to cover, but we will do some more R.E.M. Hope you enjoy it. We're at 7.5 minutes. We're going to cut it. Have a great Tuesday. And as usual, say it with me, we'll catch you on the flip side.